It's the morning briefing. This is for Tuesday, the 24th of January. I'm James Spann. We've got a very dynamic system that's going to roll in here tonight. That's going to bring a lot of rain, wind, the chance of severe thunderstorms for the southwestern part of the state. It will affect everybody, and then we'll see colder air dropping in here Thursday. The next chance of rain will be late this weekend on Sunday, but tonight will be the focus of this discussion. So let's dig in here and look at things. Well, this is the upper air look, and you can see that upper low, that big trough that's moving into West Texas, and that's going to be providing the dynamic support for the active weather tonight. This is the current situation. Early this morning, we have snow breaking out across parts of the Texas Panhandle and the South Plains around Lubbock up toward Amarillo, with rain south of that. And that snow is going to be spreading into Oklahoma this morning. But in Alabama, things are quiet. It's cold. Look at Aniana, 22. We've got 24 for Gadsden, 25 for Haleyville, Cullman at 27, Birmingham below freezing at 31, Dothan, 36, Mobile at 42. So obviously in an air mass like this, you're not going to have severe storms. It has to modify really, really quickly. And one of the questions is, can the warm sector get in from the Gulf, the unstable air, tonight? It'll be a close call. For most of the state, there will be no unstable air tonight. The wind is the problem. Gradient wind, not related to storms. Understand we have two issues tonight. Gradient wind, not related to storms, and then the chance of severe storms over southwest Alabama. This is the statewide wind advisory tonight. All counties under some type of wind advisory or warning. For most of the Alabama counties, it's a wind advisory. But for the southwestern corner of the state, that would be Washington, Baldwin, and Mobile counties, there is a high wind warning tonight. But for everybody, it's going to be really windy and really noisy tonight. Winds could gust to 40 miles per hour easily in spots, maybe gusting to 50 on the ridge tops in a few places. And that in itself could bring down some trees and power lines tonight. So just be aware of that. Even if you're in North Alabama where the air is going to be stable, it's going to be very windy tonight. And then, of course, in the cold air sector of this, we've got snow that's going to be falling. Note the counties in pink on that map. Those are winter storm warnings in effect. From the Texas Panhandle and South Plains to parts of Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, southern Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, up into Ohio. And this is the forecast snow totals here coming from the National Weather Service. This is a vetted map, not model output. This is from the National Digital Forecast Database, and you can see potential snow amounts exceeding 5-6 inches in spots through there. So up in the cold air, this will be a good snow for them. Now, the focus down here, of course, will be on the chance of strong to severe storms near the Gulf Coast. We have an enhanced risk all the way from the middle Texas coast to the western tip of the Florida Panhandle. And keep in mind, this outlook runs through 6 a.m. tomorrow. We have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for southwest Alabama. Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia counties, parts of Washington, southern Clark, southern Monroe, southern Conecuh counties. And that's where your greatest chance of severe storms will be. I know there's a slight risk as far north as Sweetwater and Greenville. There's a marginal risk as far north as Tuscaloosa, but there is no instability there. The concern, it's that enhanced risk. And if you're in places like Mobile, Fairhope, Dauphin Island, Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Foley, Bay Minette, Atmore, Bruton, you could see storms late tonight, and this is going to be after midnight, really midnight to 5 a.m., with potential for damaging wind, hail, and a few tornadoes. This is the probabilistic outlook for tornadoes tonight, and you can see that hatched area within the enhanced risk. That means there could be a strong tornado. By definition, that's EF2 or higher. And in terms of the probabilities, the chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point is 10 to 14%. That's pretty significant because tornadoes are tiny. The probabilistic outlook for damaging winds with thunderstorms tonight, you can see it's up to in the 30-44% range for damaging thunderstorm winds within 25 miles of a given point over southwest Alabama. So again, that's the concern for severe storms tonight, southwest Alabama. But again, we stress everybody will have a lot of wind tonight statewide. So this is after 6 a.m. tomorrow. And we have a risk of severe storms up to the mouth of Chesapeake Bay in Alabama. The risk of severe storms will be ongoing after 6 a.m. for the southeastern corner of the state. Dothan, Ozark, Abbeville, Geneva, Eufaula, places like that. And that threat should be over by about mid-morning, by 9 o'clock. And then on day 3, which is Thursday, not a single thunderstorm expected across the country with stable air in place. This is the rain for the next 7 days for most of Alabama. The amounts between 1 and 2 inches between now and Tuesday morning of next week. So model fans, let's go through this tonight. This is the GFS, valid today at 4, the 06Z run. You can see that deep dynamic trough coming into Texas going negative tilt. Down below that, a surface low is expected to be southeast of Shreveport with ongoing snow across Oklahoma, moving into northwest Arkansas, rain south of that. By midnight tonight, the surface low over the Mississippi Delta. And again, north and west of the surface low, it's snowing. To the south and east, it's raining. So let's look at high-resolution modeling here. This is the HRR, the HRRR, the high-resolution rapid refresh model, valid tonight at midnight. Just a big old massive rain over North Alabama. That rain begins over North Alabama probably 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And you can see that line of storms over South Mississippi. That's going to be sweeping through the southwestern corner of the state, and that's where there's a chance of severe storms. But again, for north central Alabama, just a big rain mass because there's no instability. This is the projected surface-based instability tonight at midnight, and you can see it's limited to the immediate Gulf Coast. And I totally understand that sometimes models can underestimate the instability. I understand that. I've been doing this a long time. And you've heard me say this here many times. All models are wrong. Some are useful. But I think that's the idea. It's going to be very hard to displace this cold air over the northern half of the state. But the wind fields are just screaming tonight. This is the storm relative felicity. And thank goodness we do not have instability over the northern half of the state. Be a big, big mess tonight if that was the case. But again, these are projected wind gusts at 10 meters. Now, the HRR is not as aggressive as the NAM, the other convection-allowing model that we see. But I do think clearly with this setup, we're going to see winds tonight in spots gusting to 40 miles an hour. And, you know, for most places, it'll just be windy and noisy tonight. But understand, with the wet soil conditions we have, that could bring down some trees. And accordingly, we could have some power outages. And if a tree comes down on your house, you've got a big problem tonight. So just understand, we don't have technically severe storms, but this is gradient wind. And we'll have that tonight. It's going to sweep through, tonight. The winds pick up after 8, 9 o'clock, and it's going to stay. The wind will stay up all night tonight. Really, it'll be pretty windy tomorrow as well. Not quite as windy as tonight. So just everybody be weather aware tonight. And again, the core concern for severe storms in that level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk, the southwestern corner of the state. Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, and those surrounding counties. And the western tip of the Florida Panhandle as well. That enhanced risk runs over to Pensacola and Destin, Fort Walton Beach. So tomorrow, the rain will be ending pretty early in the day, but clouds will linger. We'll be in the 50s most all day. This is Thursday. The day will be colder. We'll say a mixture of clouds and sunshine. Highs in the 40s for North Alabama. And understand there might be a few snow flurries Thursday morning over the Tennessee Valley near the Tennessee state line. But if that happens, no impact, no accumulation. Again, if you want to see a little snow in the grass, your better chance would be over East Tennessee, especially the mountains. This is Friday. We're sunny and cool. Highs in the 50s for North Alabama, 60s to the south. Saturday as the weekend begins. Should be a nice day. We'll call it partly to mostly sunny with highs, again, 50s and 60s. And then the next wave comes in here on Sunday. This is Sunday, and again, you can see rain, no severe storms. Should be cool and stable with temperatures in the 50s. Don't think it rains all day, but it certainly should rain at times on Sunday. And then Monday, that wave is on by. Highs low 50s in many spots. And this is a week from today. This is Tuesday, the 31st of January. End of the month, broad troughing, and the air pretty chilly, maybe highs in the 40s, but most places will see 50s, I think, 50s and 30s, which is very seasonal. So let's go out 10 days. It's been getting a lot of buzz. This is valid, let's see, Thursday of next week, the 2nd of February. It's a cold trough digging down into the United States, and some rain in advance of that. We'd have the rain Wednesday midweek, and that's really cold air if this happens to verify. And understand, you've seen some looks of the GFS that look really cold. Other runs have not looked as cold. The European doesn't look as cold. And understand, this is 10 days out. You don't need to get all freaked out or worried about what you see. But I certainly do think that February could offer some pretty cold air over the first half of the month at some point, based on some of that Siberian air coming over the pole, a cross-polar flow if that's the case. But again, this is 10 days out, and we just don't know how cold yet. Rain for Birmingham off the European ensemble. Pretty wet here between now and the 8th of February. The mean there is between 3 and 4 inches. This is coming off the national blend of models. And again, for the next 10 days, very seasonal. Many days, highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s. Got a couple of days with 40s and 60s in the mix. But again, you average all that out. It's just what you expect this time of the year. And this is the latest 8 to 14-day guidance. This is for the 31st of January through the 6th of February. And it's got very cold air over the north. Temperature's a little above average here. I think they'll be adjusting that in future outlooks down here. As at some point, I do think we'll see a pretty good pop of cold air, at least through the first half of February. So one more time, if you're just joining us, and again, we know most of you watch it later. If you're new here, we simulcast these live on both Facebook and YouTube. This is the wind advisory for the whole state, all 67 Alabama counties. You can't run or hide from the wind tonight. Wind advisory for most everybody, a high wind warning for Washington, Mobile, and Baldwin counties. Gradient winds not related to storms will be way up there tonight. Tonight's going to be very windy and very noisy. And the gradient wind could be enough to knock down a few trees and power lines, and your better chance of severe storms over the southwestern corner of the state, especially Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia counties, parts of Washington, Clark, Monroe, Conecuh. If you're down in that part of the state, just be very weather aware tonight, and you got to be able to get those warnings. This is a middle of the night thing, midnight to 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and way too many people honestly think that in their home, when they're sleeping, they're going to hear some magical World War II air raid siren. And that doesn't work. That's killed people over and over and over and over. The siren mentality. We've got to get away from that. And the baseline, it's not your phone. It's a weather radio. Cell networks can fail during a tornado emergency, and your phone becomes a brick. Weather radio has nothing to do with a cell network. It's an independent RF network, and it's really reliable. So we want every home and every business to have one of those. And we obviously want you to have on your phone wireless emergency alerts enabled. That's that loud tone out. It's not an app. It's built into your phone. And, of course, know where you're going, helmets for everybody. And in a mobile home, know where you can go at 2 or 3 a.m. If you don't have a community shelter in your neighborhood, know the nearest business that's open 24/7 that would open their doors to you and serve as a shelter, and have transportation. That's one of our biggest challenges. Mobile homes are wonderful, affordable housing, but you can't stay in them during a tornado if you're in the polygon. So those are some things to think about. Next video here is going to be up by about 2:30 this afternoon. We have notes on the blog, AlabamaWX.com. And, of course, we invite you to watch us this evening on ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And